To date, the government has recovered more than 11,000 documents, including more than 300 with classified markings from Donald Trump since he left office. While the twice impeached former president continues to deny any wrongdoing, new reporting tonight from the Washington Post shows how the Trump team grossly, and I do mean grossly, misinterpreted both the scale and the variety of government documents under ordinary civilian Donald Trump's control, even earlier than we previously knew. The Post reports that the National Archives was told last year that Trump did not possess any classified materials and that he only had 12 boxes filled with news clippings. That's according to people familiar with the conversations. The Post writes, during a September 2021 phone call with top archives lawyer Gary Stern, Trump lawyer Pat Philbin offered reassuring news. Philbin said he had talked with former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, who made the assertion about the dozen boxes of clippings, the people familiar with the call said. Trump's team was aware of no other materials, Philbin said, relaying information he said he got from Meadows. As the Post points out, this shows that Trump's former chief of staff was more involved in communications with archive officials than previously known. Meanwhile, we are still awaiting a response from the Department of Justice to last night's ruling by Judge Eileen Cannon denying the agency's request for access to the classified documents seized at Mar-a-Lago and agreeing with Trump's legal team to appoint a special master. It's expected that the DOJ will appeal the judge's decision. Now, remember, the rule of law states that no one is above the law. Everyone is to be treated equally under the law, and everyone is to be held accountable to the same laws. Well, that's not what this Trump-appointed judge seemed to say in her ruling, writing, quote, with the principles of equity, that the principles of equity require the court to consider the specific context at issue, and that consideration is inherently impacted by the position formerly held by plaintiff, unquote. I mean, that sure does seem to contradict the oath that she took as a judge. And it is just one of several perplexing stances that she took in her ruling. Among them was the claim that there is no identifiable emergency or imminent disclosure of classified information arising from Trump's retention of the documents that belong to the government. How could she say that? Well, some of those documents had classified markings dealing with some of this country's most closely guarded secrets, including human source material, a.k.a. information about foreign nationals inside other countries who are working for us. This judge has now commanded our foreign intelligence services to wait around for 2 months before the DOJ can fully investigate what happened with those documents at Mar-a-Lago. What about the 48 empty folders labeled classified? Wouldn't it be in the interest of national security, I don't know, to be able to investigate what was inside them and where those documents wound up? Were they handed over? Are they still at Mar-a-Lago? Are they at another one of his properties? I mean, this sure sounds like an identifiable emergency to me. Joining me now, Andrew Weissmann, former FBI general counsel and a senior member of special counsel Robert Mueller's investigative team. And Andrew, I mean, I say this a lot. I'm not a lawyer, but I can read. I mean, this judge is essentially saying, there's no problem. We can wait until late November. We have national security analysts on this network who are saying people are in the national security world are terrified about what could happen between now and November. We don't know where this material is. How can a member of the judicial branch command the executive branch to not look at documents it owns?
So, Joy, reading her decision yesterday and reading her prior decision, it's like a greatest hits album. I mean, it's hard to know where to begin because there's so many things that are so wrong. I personally think the thing you started with about her saying right out loud that she's going to give former President Trump extra credit and weight here, that violates her oath of office. That require, I mean, it's so fundamentally serious. And then your second point is this is not something where it's like, okay, she violated her oath, but there's no real harm here. I mean, the amount of harm that she just cavalierly throws off is, I mean, it's completely shocking. I've been in the intelligence community. It is beyond belief that she could take the position that she did. And that's why we are all sitting here on tenterhooks waiting to see the Department of Justice to appeal. I'm confident that they will, and we'll see that at some point today.
A couple questions. So, question number one. To go back just for a moment, reel back a little bit to the Mark Meadows piece. We now know that Mark Meadows, the Trump team was representing to the National Archives that all Trump had were 12 boxes of newspaper clippings. We don't know whether they knew that was a lie or whether they were being misinformed by Trump or et cetera. But that seems really important, right? That they're not being straight with the National Archives from the very beginning, to the point where clearly the National Archives had to keep coming back and finally get a subpoena, get a judge to give them a subpoena, to give the FBI a subpoena. What do you make of that fact, that it doesn't appear that everybody was being straight from the beginning? Does that indicate to you that maybe Trump wasn't being straight with Mark Meadows?
So, Joy, this is how criminal investigations work. You know, we're getting to see it on the outside, but this is clearly Pat Philbin going, hey, I'm not going to jail over this. So Pat Philbin, right, the lawyer, is like, hey, that's what I was told, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I was told, and I believed it, but, you know, don't look at me, look at him. Well, now that hot potato is Mark Meadows has it, and Mark Meadows is going to have to decide, is he going to own it, or is it going to go to who told him that there were only newspaper clippings? At some point, let's get real. I mean, we're not dealing with an absentee landlord. I mean, this is a micromanager over 18 months, meaning it's Donald Trump at the end of the day who's going to be holding this hot potato. And Mark Meadows is going to have to make a lot of decisions about which side he's going to be on. And we used to refer to that in the government as which side of the V do you want to be on? Do you want to be on the United States side, or do you want to be on the defendant's side in the United States versus?
Easy call. Easy call. The special master, exactly, Raymond Dearie, he's now called for a preliminary conference. So he wants them to appear before him on Tuesday, September 20th, at least that's soon, and directing them to submit letters outlining the matters they wish to discuss at the conference, close of business Monday. Give me your level of trust here of this person, Mr. Dearie, that he will expeditiously give the government back. I still am stunned that I thought we had co-equal branches of government. I didn't realize the judiciary could say, you can't look at your own stuff. Sorry, FBI, I know it's government stuff, but you can't look at it. But okay, what's your level of trust in what he's going to do, and also in the 11th Circuit, because there's a bunch of Trump judges on there too.
Yeah, so the 11th Circuit, let's leave that to the side for the moment, because the one really good thing and a positive note for the viewers on a Friday afternoon, evening, is we're really fortunate that Judge Cannon is a chicken and has decided that she's not going to roll up her sleeves and do her job, and is going to subcontract that to Judge Dearie. Because after all, she could have just decided, I'll do the review. I mean, but instead, she has got another federal judge doing it. This is where, like, I know Judge Dearie. Lots of people here know Judge Dearie. Joy, I can tell you, you could not ask for a better selection. He is the epitome of what you want a judge to be. He is smart, he is fair, he has wonderful interpersonal skills, which I think is going to come in really handy in how he deals with Judge Cannon. And I think he will be very good at making her understand sort of how to behave and sort of why he's making the decisions he's making. So, from the DOJ perspective, the good news is they know their backup is, no matter what happens in the 11th Circuit, they should be able to prevail there. But Judge Dearie is somebody, I always used to say, what you want from a judge is, when you're right, you'll win. And if you're wrong, you'll lose. And, that's all you can really expect. And you'll get that from Judge Dearie.
I'm going to take it, because I will take any good news at this point. Andrew Weissmann, thank you very much. I'm wrapping that up in a bow and taking it up. Thank you very much.